Mashup Radio.
The most supercalifragilisticexpialidocious station ever.
In Derby City.
News.
For young people.
Current affairs. Find us on www.mashupradio.co.uk.
Visit the website today.
Dab for Mashup Radio.
Just in case you didn't know, we are here with Charlotte for part 2 of Mashup Radio. The series is 1 hour with. Charlotte, are you okay?
I'm great.
Lovely, I'm glad to hear that. We ended on a bit of a note about films and stuff that's moved things forward.
Yeah.
Would you be able to pinpoint 3 films that have resonated with you? Maybe they were groundbreaking or they changed your life, but what 3 films really float your boat?
I really like First Wives Club. All about sisterhood, overcoming troubles when you've been, something bad's happened to you, coming together, helping people, getting a bit of revenge on those that deserve it.
It's a good film.
Yeah.
Have you seen First Wives Club, Zach?
No.
Okay, that's 1 for the list. I'm going to write that down. What else we got?
Just in terms of impact, you mean?
Yeah. What films have resonated with you? What films do you think, have made an impact, an impression on you, good or bad, or just jolly?
Just jolly. I really like the film Now and Then as well. So again, it's a film about friendship, 3 girls who grow up together, don't see each other, then they meet up again as adults, and their lives don't really turn out like they expected it for various different reasons. Their lives are taking twists and turns that they didn't really expect, but then they kind of realise that the important things in life aren't necessarily the size of your house or your bank balance, it's kind of like what you've got around you.
Okay. That's quite good, man. You say Now and Then?
Yes.
I've never heard of Now and Then.
Oh, it's got Goldie Hawn in, Christina Ricci.
I like Goldie Hawn.
She's good, isn't she?
Yeah, she's really, let's say, an old school 80s starlet that she never seems
so
to
underrated,
age.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. I watched, what's it called? Outrageous Fortune once upon a time with Bette Midler.
Oh.
Do you know this film?
I've heard of this
And
film.
Shelley Long. Oh, anyway.
She's good, Shelley Long is.
So what about your third film? We've definitely had Now and Then. We've had First Wives Club. Who's number 3?
Oh, there's so many films. This is hard.
Hard work.
I'm still
Choices.
There's just so many good films out there, and it kind of depends like the message behind the films, the kind of emotional impact, or making you think about different things in the right way or the wrong way, or questioning things.
One that pops into your head right now.
That's it, Andy. Put the pressure on. Put the
Put the pressure on. I did like Dirty Dancing, but in terms of impact, Contact as well. Jodie Foster. It's a space film.
Have you seen Contact, Zach?
No.
Okay. Love it.
I've not seen any of these films.
It's about
I've
this really skeptical scientist who doesn't believe in like God or anything, and it's like this contact from this alien life force kind of thing, and she goes to a black hole, and it all centers on this idea of the Occam's razor. And these scientists are like, what's more probable, the fact that you travel through a wormhole for millions and millions of years, or that you just kind of passed out? Because when she goes through this supposed wormhole, it's only 1 second of Earth time, and all the scientists around her are saying, well, Occam's razor, which is more realistic? And that's kind of what she questioned a priest about early on in the film. It's like, oh man, where does proof and reality end? Can you kind of prove or not?
Yeah, so she's actually living what she was skeptical about before.
Exactly, because she knows in her heart of hearts that she went this place, she saw this, she saw that.
So she's experienced both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
And now she's trying to convince everybody else that I actually went there.
Yeah.
It happened.
Zach, I've got to bring you in on this.
All right.
You just spoke basically on people questioning their beliefs. Do you believe in God?
Oh, see, I'm really lazy. I'd like.
Zach, I've got the same question for you and Mo.
I would love to believe there's something, so I'm going to say I'm agnostic, mainly because I'm scared of death, and I don't like to believe that when I'm dead, that's it, I'm rotting in the ground. But then monotheistic religions, I'm not quite sure there's a big guy in the sky. Like the idea of reincarnation, but the amount of spiders that I've killed, I'll probably come back as a spider.
Yeah, like the most obvious one.
Yeah.
That'd be me, definitely.
Yeah, that would be me.
You'll be the one that gets picked up by a bird.
Exactly.
Just like pecked out.
So I'd like to believe there's something, whether it's like, rebirth or something, I'm not quite sure, but I just feel like, 'cause I'm scared of death, there's got to be something out there.
Zach,
Oh.
God, do you believe?
No, I used to, but not anymore. I mean, when you talk about religion and God, it all generally revolves around one of two things: either going to heaven, or whether you want that reincarnation, afterlife, whatever you want to call it. For me, I'm just quite happy to live my life, and that'd be that. And I make the most of it, because it's whether you believe you've got more than one or not. You live in right now. You can't rely on the future to do what you want to do.
This guy, wow.
Why? It's
That's
true.
awesome.
Zach, that's quite enlightening. I think I've been listening to a lot of stuff about depression, and I can see why people get depressed, because you have this one life and you've got to try and make the most of it and do as much as possible and make as many waves as you can, but you don't know when it ends. In a way, you don't know when it begins, because it's like you could have began at 4 and you started to actually make things happen, but if you weren't turned on, you had to wait till 24, and then you've run out of time already. So I like the way that you're almost content with there is no start, there is no end, but what you've got is something, and be content with it.
Well, I guess
bit
there is
jealous.
a start and there is an end. It's just what you do with what,
Yeah.
like Zach was saying, what you do with that in between time.
You don't have any
Do
control
you-
of the start or the end. That's the awkward
Yeah, that's
bit.
what I'm saying. So there is a start and there is an end. So instead of worrying about what happened at the start and what's going to happen at the end, you live what's happening in between, and you just take every day as it comes, and I guess plan for those days that are coming.
I mean,
It's all
you've got
about the journey.
You've got those people, who want to prolong their life, cryogenic freezing, age of eternal youth, trying to live as long as possible at whatever costs.
Don't do it, man. Don't do it.
So-
By the time you have your lips expanded, they never go back down. So
And then you can have them reduced. So
Yeah.
you can.
You can freeze yourself, and wake up in 100 years, apparently.
I mean, all comes down to choice, does it not?
It does. It does. I won't hate on people for getting cosmetic surgery, but I could think of examples that just don't look right.
Yeah, like Zach says, it all comes down again to what you do with the time in between. If you choose to have, surgery in between in that time, then it's your choice. It's what you've chosen to do in life. But then somebody else might look at that as something that's not what they want to do and find something else that will bring them happiness. So it all comes down to the individual and the choice and what they do with that time in between.
I like that. That would help people in depression, as far as I'm concerned. It's almost like you just got to look at what's in front of you. Deal with that before you can deal with the uncertainties that no one's got any control over.
I think when it comes to depression is knowing that everybody is going through something that you probably experiencing yourself. It might not be on the same degree or the same level, but everybody's going through the same things. We're all human. We're all experiencing the same things on different levels and at different degrees. But we've got to understand that we have to have empathy and understanding for others around us and what it is that they might be going through.
Okay. Let me fling this one out as a round robin for everyone. What is your most commonly associated emotion? Which emotion do you find yourself most regularly sat with? And there's many of them: the happiness, the sadness, the ecstatic overjoyedness, the depressed, the wallowing. Luke, what emotion do you sit with most?
I'm a bit of a thinker. I don't know if that's an emotion, but ponder. I ponder a lot.
Okay, Tandika, what you got?
I'd say the emotion that I sit with a lot is love. Loving, receiving, giving, just the love in general for other human beings, for other things, for the things that I do. So it's love.
What do you sit with, Charlotte?
I'm quite pessimistic, so I over question and analyse things, like what does this look like to other people? Am I doing this right? What will people think? Could I do that differently? Is that good enough? How could I change that? Does that person think it's okay, or that person's giving me a funny look? Does that mean I've done something wrong? Can I do something different next time? Oh God, I'm overthinking. That person knows that I'm looking at them. That person knows that. That's that. And it's just one massive ball of confusion.
Okay. I joke you not, I get that too. Zach, what do you sit with? What's emotionally on your mind?
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm kind of the same as Charlotte, you know, always analysing, but I'd see myself more sitting with, like, I guess, an analysing emotion, always seeing, you know, the past, present, and trying to figure out what to do next. Not really being happy about it or being sad about it, just kind of living in that moment.
You seem like an older head in such a young body.
Very zen.
Yeah.
Very zen. I don't know what to say other than sometimes I just feel confused. That's it. Bottom line, just confused. And like you say, trying to contemplate which is the way forward. Or when you're halfway down the path, have I took the wrong path? That's a really irritating feeling. Charlotte, we've got to come back to you. We can't forget you are our special guest for the day.
Why, thank you.
Derby City, is there anything bad? Is there anything that makes you think, oh? And I'm not on about the posh, oh. I'm on about
The bad O.
The bad.
oh.
The bad O.
Yeah. Oh, capital O.
Yeah, I think we've got a serious problem or fetish with traffic lights. I think.
Well, that's definitely interesting.
That is interesting.
we
Yes.
need to stop building so many traffic lights in unnecessary places. Kingsway as a prime example of where we do not need any more traffic lights.
Didn't they cost $49.99 a pop?
Yep, something like that. They were
Times 25.
very expensive.
Yeah.
And when you think they're closing down libraries, they want to close more libraries down. We've got no swimming pool really, and leisure facilities are going down. Where that money could have been spent, just it makes the toes curl a little bit. Yeah. So I think
Oops.
misspending perhaps. So no more traffic lights.
I think that's a clanger. That's a real clanger. We have a fetish for traffic lights. So, if you were in a position of power, no, actually, we should save this one. But
Ominous.
yeah, let's save the improvements for part 3. I'm going to try and hand over to Zach and see if he's managed to get any quick fire round questions for you.
I do.
Zach says he does.
Does.
I will shut my mouth now.
Alright, first question. What do you think of the recently built statue in town? The oval structure, I don't know what it's called. It's like, I don't know what it
Is it the Rings of Fire?
Yeah.
The rings?
Yeah, those
rings.
Yeah.
Waste of money.
What do you think to the fact of the amount of parks in Derby? Do you think there's not enough? Do you think there's too many?
Medium. It's better than some areas I've been to. I think there's a lot of green that gets used for a variety of reasons.
Do you think they should attempt to make at least some sort of canal back? Or do you think they should leave just the canal path with no canal?
Depends on if they can put a canal back in there. There's ponds and lakes that are in the Derby parks, which I think do a good enough job. Do we need a canal? Is it for aesthetics or is it for a purpose?
Very interesting.
Do you think that we have too many roundabouts?
We have a lot of roads and a lot of ways we need to get onto roads. So I think we're okay with roundabouts.
It's just where they accompany them with traffic lights. Is that the issue?
Yeah, I think we should trust people to know their highway code enough that they don't need a traffic light every 10
It
metres.
depends on where they put the roundabouts, because there's
This
that
is true.
issue that's going on at the moment in relation to a new roundabout that they've built somewhere.
In Mikalova?
Yeah, it's the Mikalova Island roundabout or something along those lines.
I mean, the top of one in town where you go on the lanes as well. It's all like weird when you
Where
want to
do I
come
go?
down. Yeah, and especially on the Kingsway one, the bottom one as well. When you want to go up to Ashbourne or Markeaton, it's like I'm in the right lane, but I want to go over there, and I'm in the wrong lane on the normal roundabout.
Are we getting roundabout crazy?
A little bit. Keep it simple. I think whoever's designed them does not live in Derby.
No, they know this. They're laughing.
Yeah.
They're watching and laughing.
They have to be.
Damn. Are you going again, Zach? What
yeah,
you got?
I got plenty more.
Oh, this guy. I love this guy. Go.
Okay, if you could have the ability to open any sort of building in Derby, what would it be?
A youth centre that is staffed, where kids can go all day, not just selective hours of the day.
Okay, what about like a portable one? Because I've seen like buses that are supposed to be like youth areas for people to go. Would you have those sort of things, or?
Yeah.
Alright, that's it. can't think of any more.
That was not many more.
That wasn't bad though.
That was not bad.
I'm going to stick up for Zach and I'm going to give him the telepathy that he's been able to put on the table for me to come up with loads of questions for you. Are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Let me clear my throat. Anyway, different song. 50 Cent or Eminem?
Eminem.
Biggie or Tupac?
Biggie.
Sink or swim?
Swim.
Wife or wifey?
Wife.
Bourbon or custard cream?
Bourbon.
Big or small?
Small.
Okay. These are the cooks. Lenny Henry or Roy Chubby Brown?
Do I have to pick one?
Yes.
Afraid so.
Clock's ticking.
Lenny Henry.
Okay. Thelma or Louise?
Louise.
Margaret Thatcher or Queen Victoria?
Maggie Thatcher.
Okay, that's fine. We're going around to country and western singers. Dolly Parton or Tammy Wynette?
I know Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton.
No problem. Straight up, I saw someone in a bicycle in Amsterdam the other day. It was a hand bike. Hand or foot?
Hand.
Bike or car?
Car.
Chase or hide?
Chase.
Okay.
Fight or flight?
Fight.
What about, do you call them tegs? Is that what they call teeth, or is that just a Birmingham thing? Hand or electric? Which toothbrush?
Oh, hand.
Okay. Manual toothbrush.
Yeah.
Okay. The advert
I have
never said
tried the
that.
electric.
Yeah, they're a bit weird, aren't they?
You just stand there with your hands. It doesn't feel like you're doing anything. I don't like it.
Tape or CD?
CD.
Vinyl or CD?
Vinyl.
Plenary or starter?
Plenary.
Grey or blue?
Grey.
Now or then?
Ben.
Derby or Derbyshire?
Derby.
No doubt in that one.
Ghost or Dirty Dancing?
Dirty Dancing.
Ghost
Dirt-
or Portugal?
Oh.
Ghost.
Okay. Ghost or Roadhouse? Do you know Roadhouse?
Roadhouse. Oh, why do that to me?
Dalton. Yeah, good films, man.
Stewie or Peter?
Peter.
Asda or Sainsbury's?
Asda.
Asda or Lidl?
Asda.
Asda or Aldi?
Asda.
Aldi or Lidl?
Audi. Audi.
All right, last one from me. This is a very serious one. I need to know, it's Saturday. Are you going to watch Murder, She Wrote or Columbo?
Columbo.
Okay.
Just one more thing.
Yeah, just one.
Just one more thing.
Yeah, Jessica Fletcher just
Excuse
doesn't
me,
have
but-
that line, does she? Yeah,
No.
she tries to be cunning, but it's like,
No. Can't beat Columbo.
Yeah, he was a serial monogamist as well, which is just something I learned
Murder,
the
She
other day.
Wrote or Miss Marple?
Murder, She Wrote. It's close though, it's close, it's close.
Wow. So, this has been part 2. We've definitely discovered that Charlotte is a Patrick Swayze fan. In part 3, I'm hoping we're going to look at more educational stuff and when I say the improvements, you spoke about this youth centre you'd like to open. And what kind of courses would be on offer?
I think the boys ask the young people what they want. It's no good me kind of saying, you know, I'll put on X, Y, and Z if X, Y, and Z isn't what the kids want or the young people want.
Do you think that's the problem with today's society, that old people decide what young people might want?
Yes, part of it.
Okay, let me bring Zach in. What do you want, Zach?
Personally,
Yeah.
I personally think there's not enough sports for young people. Granted, there's few places where you can get like football or tennis, but I personally feel there's not enough variety. If you want to be athletic, you either have to go somewhere else or go for something that's a bit bland, because not everyone's gifted in football. I know that from personal experience, but
Yeah, I'm not very good at football either.
I think it's about letting young people know, especially in relation to sport,
Yeah.
that these things are happening. Like Charlotte said, there's not enough information out there about
No.
what's happening in regards to stuff for adults. So how, if we can't govern what it is that we're doing for ourselves, how are we going to govern what we're doing for our young people? If we can't put out the communication there in regards to what's going on for us adults to do, then how are we showing an example as to what, young people will be able to do?
I mean, there's a lot of good community work going on in local communities, but no one else in wider communities knows it's going on unless you're in that community. Derby City website is, not very easy to navigate around. Doesn't really update
You don't like
itself.
that website?
No.
Yeah. There are a few issues with it.
Yeah.
But everything's there.
Yeah.
But it's just how you find it.
And it's, if
Yeah,
you want
it's like
to
a
actually
maze.
if you want to actually go on it to find it, what's enticing you to go on there and find it?
I mean, most people use Facebook or Twitter these days anyway, That's kind of how most events are found out, but you only find on it when you go on there randomly and it's, an event near you. You're like, oh, that's really good. And you find out
it
it's...
happened 6 weeks ago.
You have to use user pages like what's on Derby made by not the council, just people from Derby.
Yeah.
I know that the council have got a Twitter page, DCC, Derby City Council. And they do try and put stuff on there, I've seen recently. But again, for me, and I'm not a young person, to actually go on there to look for what's going on in Derby doesn't really entice me. And I've joined all these other pages in relation to days out in Derby, things to do in Derby, etc. But not everything is on those pages. I think there should be somewhere that's collated, and you can feed into all
Like
those
central
pages.
pool almost,
Central pool. All those pages can feed into it, as well as bands, organisations, events, etc. Can just feed into this one particular page.
You find yourself looking for like 5 pages or something, don't you? Like on Saturday, what can we do? Okay, there's this page, this page, this page, this page there. And it's like, it might find something.
Yeah, there should be like one kind of central portal, like you say,
Yeah.
that different organisations can just feed their information into it, and a diary comes up as to what's going on that specific day in Derby.
Yeah.
In part 3,
Yeah, I'm going to copyright that.
maybe
Go
we
for
stick
it.
the improvements in place. But as I say, not before then Tandika will copyright her idea.
Mashup Radio.
The most supercalifragilisticexpialidocious station ever.
In Derby City.
News.
For young people.
Current affairs. Find us on www.mashupradio.co.uk.
Visit the website today.
Dab for Mashup Radio.